Quiet on the set.
AC
Quiet.
AC these nuts.
No, sound like the screen door on Friday and shit. Damn, Smokey. Excuse me, stagehand.
Anybody else's lips smell funny?
I'm good at doing dumb
And I'm breathing like a fat kid.
Man, I just got stage fright.
The Grog Bowl follows 3 Army veterans on a trail of self-discovery and hopefully progress as they talk about life before, during, and after service. These 3 service members have varied jobs, time in service, and experience after service, but one thing remains constant. You are never the same, for better or worse, after any amount of service.
Everybody comfortable?
Yeah. Yep,
I'm
we
good,
are.
very good.
We are live. Yeah. Hey, this is not gonna be easy.
Hold on.
by any means.
Wait, let's go over the top.
Uh-oh.
Gotta go over the top.
Oh yeah,
Hat's
Sylvester
going
Stallone.
backward.
Is this thing on?
Mic check. 1, 2.
I'm right here. There's
1,
only
2,
one.
1, 2.
One mic.
All right, guys. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Grog Bowl. My name is Derek. Thanks for chiming in, listening to us. If you like what you hear, like us on Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media. But this is who I am. My name is Derek. I served about 16 years in the Army. I joined in 2002. Once 9/11 kicked off, that was pretty much my whole motivation to get in, do my part, serve. But I served as a Cap Scout for 16 years, ended up medically retiring. Run around the world a couple times, a couple deployments, non-combat and combat deployments. I've seen a lot of stuff, did a lot of things. Now retired in 2019, and I'm currently an entrepreneur, own a couple businesses. Got my college knocked out, and now we're living out here in Concord, running my companies and playing baseball. Head coach for a travel ball team, one of our local teams here, the Carolina King Cobras, with my 2 boys, and that's pretty much it. Now we're on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that intro, Derek.
Yes, sir.
My name is James. I joined the Army in 2000. I think I'm the eldest of this group.
Just
You're
barely.
old. You're old.
Yeah, I'm an old fart, old geezer. But yeah, I joined in 2000. So when I went to the recruiter's office, they asked me what I wanted to do. I said, doesn't matter what I do. I just don't want to be in the damn woods all the time.
You don't want to be like me?
Yeah, I didn't want to be in the woods. So recruiter was like, well, what about this 91 Juliet? It says medical supply. And I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. He said, yeah, there's a $3,000 enlistment bonus with this job.
Sold.
And
You got to pump them numbers up, son.
yeah, so, we were kind of going down the list. I did pretty decent on the ASVAB, so I had quite a few MOSs to choose from. And he said, what about this 91 Alpha? He says, the AIT it's about 42 weeks long, but I think if you get this job, odds are you're more than likely going to work in a hospital. You'll never be in a field unit. You'll never be anywhere but probably in a hospital. And I said, you know what? I like that. Give me that job. So, I enlisted. I was on the delayed entry program. So I left in August of 2000. Went through basic at Fort Leonard Wood, Bravo 210 Hood. And after that, after graduation, went over to Shepherd Air Force Base to learn my job. But anyway, my first assignment was in a field unit. So,
You didn't get that desk job starting out.
Recruiter's
Huh?
lying again.
yeah, that old cliche, man. Thank your recruiter. So yeah, thanks to my recruiter. She was actually a corporal. But anyway, so fast forward, I did 10 years in the Army. Decided that, it was no longer something that I wanted to be a part of. I felt like I had maximized my potential. And so I decided to test my luck in the civilian world. So I got out in 2010, March, and went to work at Womack Army Medical Center. So I finally got that hospital job I was looking for 10 years later. But yeah, I did do a 15-month deployment in Iraq, OIF2, in Kirkuk. Shout out to all my 225 Forward Support Battalion folks that were overseas with me. We did a lot of great things. We took care of a lot of people, and it's something that I'm always grateful that I had the opportunity to go downrange and take care of soldiers. So now, fast forward again, I'm here in Concord with Derek and Mike, working at the VA Medical Center. So, I'm out here still taking care of soldiers, but also sailors and airmen and Coast Guardsmen. And that's my story, man.
Well, good to meet you, Jim.
Glad to be here, Michael.
Do we do Jim or James? I always call you Jim.
I love Jim.
You like Jim?
Yeah, I've been called James all of my life in school. When I was in the military, people called me by my last name. So, when I got to, and even in Womack, people called me by my last name. And so, because everybody was prior military.
Right.
And so when I got into the civilian sector, I took a job in Sacramento, California. And they said, "So what's your name?" And I said, "My name's Jim."
Yeah.
And that's how the whole Jim thing got started. And that was back in 2014.
I just realized you said you introduced yourself as James. Your wife calls you James, but she introduced you to me as Jim.
She calls me Big Daddy.
Well, that's beside the point. In public, she calls you James. But I just wanted to make sure. So you're Jim, and you're Derek, and I'm Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. So quick info about me. I joined in November of 2002. I signed up as a 12 Bravo. Longer story involved in this, but I wanted a truck because my brother showed up. But that's another time, another place. Anyway, joined in 2002, November. Went to Fort Leonard Wood for OSIT, one station unit training as a 12 Bravo.
What unit were you in?
I was in Bravo 35th Engineer Battalion.
Even for basic training?
Yes. One station, unit training.
Okay.
Same company all the way through. It was a nightmare.
Oh,
I did, however, get a break. I went in November, so we got Christmas Exodus. We got to leave for a week or two, and I got to come back and see my wife. I spent my honeymoon in basic training, so I got to go back for Christmas to see my wife. Anyway, after basic training, I did many places, but I served in every leadership position from a regular 12 Bravo ground pounder soldier all the way through an operations sergeant major, except for team leader. I was never a team leader. I skipped that step. Went straight from a driver to a squad leader. Was in Georgia, Missouri, Hawaii, and Kentucky. Doing all kinds of great things, helping all kinds of great people. Been an instructor, been a driver.
Fort Campbell?
No, I was not in Campbell. I was in Fort Knox.
Protecting the gold.
Yeah, there's rumors about the gold, but I don't know. They won't let you in, so there's no more tours. So some people say there's no gold there anymore. I don't know anything about it. If you know about the gold, please let us know.
I drove by there every day for 2 years, didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
No damn gold.
Never. No idea. But did all kinds of things. Did 3 deployments, 2 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. Got lucky, I would say, in most of the deployments, but those are more stories for more times. But
came back with all your limbs.
Came back with all my limbs, even all my fingers and toes.
But did you come back with the right mind?
That's debatable.
Yeah.
And again, so these are just quick little snippets about who we are and what we have to offer. There's bigger stories inside of all these little stories.
Yeah. We don't want to give away too much right now.
Well, let's talk about how this thing really got started.
So, Mike, we were at your house and we started, just having some drink and just talking, getting some of our past military experiences out there in the open. And things got a little deep, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
what I remember. What was your perspective?
So while we were out back grilling, and I don't remember how it got brought up initially, but we started sharing stories and talking about how talking actually helps not solve problems, but identify issues. And between the three of us, we all kind of agreed that we have things that we've been going through privately, and kind of thought it might be a good idea to share them together and also share them with other people who might be having issues or problems related to the military.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. I remember we were talking about alcohol and other things like that, and just how, being deployed and coming back, how things were a little different than what we expected.
Yeah, so alcohol was one of the big topics that got brought up then. It's one of the big topics I want to talk about eventually, but what was coincidentally, when we were out back talking about it, we went upstairs and started continuing our conversation, and your wife actually said we should do a podcast, and we all said, well, that was kind of the idea. So the three families sat around together, not families, the three couples sat around together for several hours, coming up with ideas, coming up with thought processes, trying to come up with names, and actually putting together this semi-plan of doing a podcast, which ended up taking several weeks to get going, but
we're here now.
We're here now. And now it's actually going. We are 17 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. We're not 17 weeks in.
Yeah, we're 25 weeks in.
Seems like it.
That's what it really does.
It feels like.
Nah, but we're just getting this thing kicked off. We're trying to get our feet wet and just get some experience.
And with the hope of not only sharing our stories and how we've overcome things and issues we've dealt with and how we dealt with them, but to put those things out in the open for other people to hear, so that other people that may or may not be having similar issues can realize that they're not alone, and if they have another new outlet to reach out to, or just to hear that they're not the only one dealing with something.
Derek, you're quiet over there.
I was just thinking.
Chime in, buddy.
I was just thinking we were in that time frame. Like, I don't want to get into the alcohol subject, but I've known Mike for about 10, 12 years now, and the only time he's really opened up was that night, and that's kind of how it all came about. I think alcohol was involved. There's a lot of mixed feelings going on, especially with him getting out of the military recently, and it was just a big eye-opener. Oh, we might have something here. Let's see what we can do with this podcast, and that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, and all I could think about was just making myself emotionally available. I felt like that was a huge part of what would...
And this is one of those things where I've thought about what I'm about to say several times. And I often thought that I would start each episode apologizing to my wife because for two reasons. One, she's going to hear things eventually that I should have told her a long time ago. And two, she's going to be wondering why I'm able to talk to you two and the world about things, but I don't open up to her. And that is probably a topic for another day. And I feel like I'm probably not alone in that statement, but it's easier to talk to complete strangers sometimes than it is to the people you spend your life with. And that's one of the reasons I'm passionate about doing this podcast, to try to help at least one other person outside of this room.
I'm with you, brother. Man, when I first met you, you had a fucking bald head.
Man, I just got out of the Army.
I don't know why you didn't wear your hair like that in the Army.
It's too long. You can't fit this under a
Nah.
beret.
Man, I see black soldiers wearing their hair like that all the time, man.
Yeah, I can't do it. It's too hot.
Yeah, it is too hot.
Too hot. Too much hair under a beret.
Man, I had a soldier who used to get his hair cornrowed on the weekends. I'm talking about braids.
I can't do that.
It was crazy. But nah, let's fast forward. When I met you, you had a bald head.
Yes. It was a Halloween party again. Last year.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was last year.
No.
Y'all been in the
In person?
Yes.
yeah.
So, but y'all are the real.
And then
prior
every
to
time
that.
my wife came around, y'all was like, "Where's Jim? Where's Jim?" Right?
Yeah, exactly. We were super.
Really.
That was more than neighbors.
Wait, did you already move here?
Yeah.
You just already met. So you hadn't met them in person yet.
We'd met her.
You met. Okay.
We
They
hadn't
were
met
like,
Jim.
"Where's Jim?
Gotcha.
Where's Jim? Where's
Okay.
Jim?" So
Where's Jim?
I was like, "Well, obviously, I'm wanted in this circle of people." And I was like, you know what? I need to make myself emotionally available to these people because I have a hard time with that.
I don't even know what you're talking about
So-
right now.
I mean, I just want to be emotionally available for y'all.
Can we skip to the good part?
Yeah, let's talk about how the podcast came about.
I thought that was what we were doing.
No. Oh,
Well, we were talking about
we're telling
emotional-
terrible stories about Halloween parties and toilets.
All I know is I had the best costumes out of all three of y'all. I mean, all two of y'all.
Did I have a costume?
All I remember you was
I didn't have a
standing
costume
on
on.
some piece of wood and you were dry humping, singing some crazy song. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Was that the first
Anyway.
Halloween party or the second Halloween?
I'm-
Back to the story.
I must have been drunk.
So what did we end up doing? You guys met. We sing Kumbaya. Then we went to
Talk to you a year later.
a year later. Then we went to my birthday party, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
it was. So true story, no bullshit. The podcast came about because
The whole story's true.
mostly, yes, mostly.
Okay.
We were out back of my house for my birthday party / Memorial Day.
You said the Outback Steakhouse?
No, Jesus.
Okay.
Dude,
Sorry.
they got some good.
Is it Memorial Day or is it?
Outback.
Yeah, Memorial Day. So my birthday is near Memorial Day. So
Was
we
it
had,
Memorial Day?
oh my God.
Okay.
So we had a combo party, and you both came over with your families, and we were out back after dinner, partaking in adult beverages of all flavors. And what had happened was, we all had a few too many and started talking as we normally do. And in that time frame, my oldest son came out and was also partaking in adult beverages, which sparked a new conversation of not dealing properly with.
Sherry's going to kill you.
I'm just trying to figure out what that has to do with anything.
It sparked the topic of not dealing with emotional things properly and setting a bad example for family members and whatnot. And in the conversation we were having, Derek mentioned the fact that he wanted to, or had thought about previously, starting a podcast. And in our drunken stupor, we all went, "Yeah, let's start a podcast."
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
And that's the story of how it all started.
That's a great story.
It's a terrible story, but it's true. All of it's true.
All of it.
Go upstairs,
All the way from
and the husband sat around for the next 2 hours talking about it.
Yes. And then we went upstairs and we talked about doing the podcast with the whole family, throwing around ideas.
Yep.
And part of the
Here we are, 6 Fridays in,
and we still can't even
Still
remember
trying
how
to
the
get-
story came.
the first episode together.
Yeah, we were throwing names around for the podcast. And then we went to dinner in the beautiful downtown Albemarle.
No, Mount Pleasant.
It's Mount
Oh, it's
Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant?
Yeah.
Well, it's all the same area, right? It's kind of.
So this story, no, we got to try this again because this didn't work at all. So I don't know that the
Wait, so we really messed up the story that bad?
I don't know that
All right, cut.
All right, guys, we're going to reach into the grog bowl and figure out what next episode's topic is going to be about. So, Mike, without further ado, if you could drum roll, please.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional or legal advice.
All right, next episode is going to be relief and new stress.
So I wrote that. That topic doesn't make any sense because I wrote it down.
I see that.
Relief and new stress.
So what it
Relief
is
and new stress.
what it boils down to is transitioning from the military. Relief from the stress of the military, and then new stresses involved with starting on a whole new life. So
a whole new life.
So basically, it is our transition story and how it went about and how it comes in, the new issues that arise from the new jobs.
That is insane because that was exactly what I had said before we even went into the grog bowl.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
That's going to be a really good topic.
Man, I'm good.
It's like your
Can you feel that,
Yeah.
huh? Captain Compost.
And it ties in very well. It's a nice, smooth, easy topic. Transition in before we get into some of the deeper topics that are inside the bowl.
That's Jim Carrey's line. That's not mine. That one I just said.
What?
That. Can you feel that? That's
You sure that's Jim Carrey?
That's from Ace Ventura.
It is.
Well,
That's one of me and my wife's favorite movies.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of the Grog Bowl, please like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram, social media. And if you'd like to partake in our show or have any questions, please send us an email.
thegrogb@gmail.com.
Can we turn the air conditioner back on now?
Feels good in here.
It's 1,000 degrees.
And cut.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional or legal advice.